Utinni!
What is up, everybody? Happy Thursday night. I hope everyone's doing all right. We're going to be doing some lasering tonight with my Xtool F1 Ultra. I also got 3D print going. Sean Hamilton or Star Geeks. There is your Slave 1 printing, buddy. So it is going. But hey, Robert. Hope you're doing well. Hope you can hear me on this headset. Not the greatest headset in the world, but it's what I got for my little mobile studio. Things are going all right. Figured I'd do some lasering tonight, so I kind of got this set up. I need to wipe down the inside of my shield, though. It is dusty. Been testing a lot of Slate coasters today, so trying to get my settings right. At some point, I probably need to wipe that lens too, but we'll save that for another show. And actually, for this, I'm going to leave this up so I can show you the laser process. Usually, you don't leave that up just because lasers are bad for your eyes. But to combat that, I'm going to don on these sexy motherfuckers. Look at them. Woo! Bet you I look sexy as hell in that. Let's see. Do I look sexy? So, I got this set up, and we are going to move you a little bit closer so you can see the process. Let me turn on my fan. I got an air purifier set up, so I'm going to lower this just a little bit just so we can kind of see it, but hopefully not get sprayed of too much radiation from the laser. This is using a 20-watt fiber. Excuse me. So here we go. Sorry if the camera's shaking. Let me try to put this on something that is more stable than my old ass hands. Bear with me for a second here. There. That way you don't get motion sickness. Jesus. Shaking like a Parkinson's patient. Well, we'll see how it comes out. My goal is I've been trying to get, I had the settings that actually created a really nice image, and before I was able to save it, the program crashed. So I've been hunting those settings all day. And I'm not exactly sure what settings I had. So I think I'm somewhat close. Just got some minor tweaks here and there. But this is going to be for a memorial stone display for a person in my neighborhood whose dog passed away. And so this is an image that is similar to what their dog looked like. It's not their actual dog because it's a surprise gift from another neighbor. So I'm not able to get an actual picture of the animal. So I found some online and had the neighbor pick which one they thought most closely resembled the animal. So I've been struggling trying to get this thing with as much detail as I want in it without it losing a lot of detail. So it's turned out to be a little bit more of a process than what I would like, but you know, that's the way things go. So I made some settings adjustments and I figured, well, shoot, let's go live and see what everybody thinks, you know, and we'll do one or two until we get the settings, you know, somewhat close, and that way at least I have an idea of which way I'm going, if I'm going the right way or if I'm going the wrong way. So again, this is a 20-watt fiber laser that I'm using right now. Now this does have a 20-watt diode laser in it as well. So we will see what happens. And I can pretty much already tell you that these are not the settings I want, just based on what I'm seeing right now. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. So this will be sanded down and reused because it is not the look I'm going for. So while that is working, because I might as well just let it finish, I'm going to make some adjustments to my settings, and that way we can do another one. So I can pretty much tell you these are not the settings I want, but just in case, I'm going to take a picture of the settings in case it does happen to turn out the way I want. That way, if my program crashes again, I know what settings I had. But I can almost tell you that this is not the settings I want. So I'm going to drop this down to 240, and I'm going to drop the power. Actually, I'm going to drop the DPI because that was at 650. So I'm going to drop it down to 325. I'm going to leave the dot duration at 200. And the power, we're going to leave at 90. And we're going to see what this does. And see if we get different results. It's not a bad result, it's just not the result I'm going for. So you can sort of see it starting to appear there. But I want it to be, there's not enough black in it, in my opinion. So it's not a bad image, it's just not exactly what I'm going for. So I think we need some more contrast, some more black. But we'll let it finish and then we'll wipe it off and see what happens. That is not smoke that you see coming off of the slate. That is rock dust from the slate dust. Um, so it is quite dirty. And I have an air purifier that is taking all that dust and it's sucking it through the back of the machine over to this air purifier, which has 3 filters in it. So I'm waiting on a inline fan, in which case I will run that duct out the window, out of this window, and shoot everything straight outside. But it is not going to arrive until probably midweek next week. So, yeah, this isn't as dark as I wanted it in the dark areas. So, I'm going to try these other settings, and if it's still not dark enough, then I'm going to try something different. There's several different ways you can get photorealistic results with these. It can be the lines per centimeter, it can be the power, it can be the DPI. Those are the main 3 settings that you can change on the laser. You can also play with the contrast of the image, with the saturation of the image, the brightness. And on this one, let me look, but I think I had, let's see, I had the saturation at 0, which is normal. The brightness at 0, which is normal. I had the contrast bumped up to 11. So, and I had the grayscale all the way up to 255. So I'm going to drop that to 240. Let's go a little bit lower. Let's go 236. Let's bump up the contrast to 15. And then we'll go with 200 dot duration, 90% power, 325 dots per inch, and 1 pass with a frequency of 30. And we will see what that does once this finishes up here. The image isn't bad. It's not that it's not a good image. A lot of people would be perfectly happy with this image. I'm not happy with it. I think it can be better. I think it can resemble the image that I'm using a lot better. So I'm the one who's not happy with it. It's not that the client wouldn't be happy with this image. So it's just something that I'm nitpicking about. So can you hear that high pitch screech that the laser's making on the slate, etching it? I don't know if that's coming through on my mic or not. Or that loud ass air purifier. So we are, looks like we got about 4 more minutes on this before it's finished, and then we'll take a look at it. But like I said, just looking at it from my experience with working with this image pretty much all day, it is still not where I want it to be. So we will see what happens. I don't know if the camera will pick this up through the shield or not. That kind of blocks out some of the squelching noise, but there's the image. And again, it doesn't look bad, but just to kind of show you what I'm going for, this is the one I did earlier today, and my software crashed before I could save the settings. So this is kind of what we're going for as far as the lightness and the darkness and the contrast. So as you'll see when this image is done, it's not even remotely where I want it to be as far as the darks and the lights. So we will have to play with that some more. I don't know if it's too much power or I'm really not sure. Let me look at something else. It's kind of like 3D printing. You have to really just kind of play with it until you get to a certain point. You know, I'm going to drop the saturation down to -50 just to see what that makes any difference whatsoever. But I'm going to leave everything else the same. Technically, that shouldn't make a difference because it's a black and white image anyway, and saturation really doesn't matter except for color images. You'll get a little bit of a color tone difference, but not a whole lot. This thing's almost there. And yes, I'm still wearing the way cool sexy glasses because I like my eyes, so I'm using double protection. In the military, we called them BCGs, birth control glasses, because there ain't no way you getting laid in one of these things. So we're almost to the end of the image there. Yeah, that is definitely not what I was going for. Wonder if I lower the power. We'll try that on the one after this one. That is definitely not what I'm looking for. And it will be done in about 20 seconds. We are done. So, we're going to lift this up. And you wipe this off. Make sure you get all the dust off of it so we can really see what this image has turned out to be. And yeah, that is most definitely not what I am looking for at all. but it's not a bad image. Most people would probably be pretty happy with that. I am not, because I want an image that is more like this that I did earlier, but to have the same amount of detail you see in this image. So if I put them, excuse me, side by side, you can see that this one's definitely more vibrant, but this one has more detail. So I'm trying to find that happy medium to get to that point. So we're going to take another Slate coaster. Now what happens is I take these and I sand them down so I can reuse them, because these are all just for tests. So I'm literally just testing the settings, and if I go through 10 coasters, that's what I go through. But I'm able to take those same coasters, sand them down, and reuse them. So that looks pretty good. So we're going to try this again. And this time I am going to lower the shield, just to make sure my eyeballs are safe. But I am going to keep the super sexy glasses on. Hey, Pat Stan, what's up, buddy? All right. And here we go. We'll see if this is more of the image that I'm looking for with the setting adjustments that I made. I still think it might be a little bit too light. I need to figure out how to darken it up without losing the detail. It did get a little bit darker, but I still don't know if it's dark enough. So just to kind of reiterate what we're going for, we're shooting for an image like this that I did earlier before my machine crashed and I lost the settings. But we want the detail of this image. So you see how that image has way more detail, but it's blown out. Well, this one is more contrasty, but the details aren't in there. So that's what I'm shooting for, is that happy medium. Now this one is doing a little bit better. I still think I could go a little bit further with it. So let me raise you up here so you can kind of see it. That one's doing a little bit better, but I still think there's room for some improvement there. So I'm going to come back over here to my computer, and we are going to drop the dot duration to 190. We're going to drop the power to 65. The DPI, since we dropped the power, we're going to raise that back up to 350. And and we're going to leave the contrast and the saturation. I think I'm going to dump the saturation at 0 because that really honestly shouldn't make a difference. Excuse me. I think I'm going to dump the contrast up to 25. And on the grayscale, we're going to drop that to 220. I think that's what I want to do. It's all just honestly guesswork. Hold on, just all right. I'm back. Can y'all hear me still? Well, that's just it, Pats fan. I'm not throwing them away. I'm sanding them down and reusing them. Hopefully, you guys can still hear me. Let me make sure my audio is working. It says it is. So, all right, this is the image we did prior. Not bad, has some good details, but it's washed out. This is the image that just completed. So we lost some detail, but we lost some detail for sure. I mean, you can really see the difference. This is the one before, and then this is the one we did. So I like the contrast in this one, but we lost too much detail. So we're gonna shoot for the stars again. Let me leave that up here for a second, and we'll frame it. Make sure that we are focused, because I didn't make sure we were focused last time. So that honestly could have been part of the problem, but doubtful. So what I'm doing is I'm just simply adjusting this image here to fit inside the coaster. I'm going to do a framing. And I don't know if this will show up on camera or not, but when you frame something, you see that little laser going around there, the blue light? That is the outline of the object that the image, the outline of the image. So it allows you to see where that image is going to be on the object that you're lasering. So that's really helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and close this to be safe. And we already made our adjustments. We're going to stop framing. We're going to go to process. We're going to start it. And again, even though I have the shield down, which is the safety shield that blocks all the laser radiation and light so it doesn't hurt your eyes, I'm still wearing these super sexy glasses. So, yeah. Because I like my eyes and I kind of need them. So, hey Gap, how you doing, buddy? So now we're going to try the third setting here. I'm just trying to get this camera set up to where you guys can actually see it. And here we go, once again. I think the biggest issue that I've found, at least, with the lasers is a very small adjustment has huge implications to whatever you're lasering. So, I mean, you do, like, if you've ever worked at a 3D program or even in 3D printing, point 0.02 doesn't seem like it, makes a huge difference. But 0.02 on a laser makes a huge difference. So this one's starting to look like it may be closer to the sweet spot that I'm looking for, but we have to wait until it's done to really see it and, wipe the dust off of it and see where we're at. Which I didn't even wipe the dust off the other one, but I don't think it's going to make a difference, which it does not. And what's funny is you won't be able to see it in the camera, but I can see it with the naked eye. The detail of all the little whiskers and stuff is actually etched into the slate, but it's blown out. So that is one thing that I'm trying to cure. And this one does look like it may have a little bit more detail in the ear anyway, but the face is still blown out like crazy. So I wonder if I take that saturation, maybe that saturation is what's screwing it up. Well, black and white image saturation really shouldn't make that huge of a difference. But I have saturation set at 0. So let's drop that to, what if I raise the saturation? I wonder if I raise it, because I've been lowering it this entire time. So I wonder if I raise it, what that will do. I mean, it really shouldn't make a whole bit of difference. So let's just keep it at 0. Actually, let's go -30 on it. And we'll keep the brightness where we're at. I'm going to drop the grayscale down to 175. I'm going to drop the power down to 50. Actually, let's go 40. Let's go 45 on the power. Dot duration, we're going to keep at 190. The DPI, we're going to keep at 350. And let's process that. And we'll see if that makes any difference. Because I really just don't know what else I can do. Just for giggles, I'm going to raise this up to 730. And see if the preview shows anything different. It does not. And that's the other thing, is I think the preview that they have for this should do a better job of showing what the settings do to the image. And I know that may be asking for too much, but I really think they could have done a better job with that part of it. So $350, 45. Go to process. Oh, we're going to have to frame it. We're going to have to. These are getting faster at least. So this is done. So we'll see if we're going in the right direction. Let's wipe it off. Wipe down this. Look at all this dust in here. Shoo, look at that. Well, I'm not breathing that stuff in. Wipe down my shield while I got. See all this dirt and dust on here? Eventually I'm going to have to wipe my laser lens, but I really don't want to touch that if I don't have to. Alright. Get another sample in here. And again, the ones that don't work out, we're going to sand down and reuse. So let me frame this. Make sure that we're lasering on the object and see we're off just a little bit. So this needs to come down. Like so. So let me show you the latest result. So the first one we lasered was that, which doesn't look bad. Lots of detail, but it's not the contrasty look I was going for. The second one wait, which one was it? Okay, this one was the second one. So better, more contrasty, but we lost a lot of detail in the face area here. So this one that we just did is definitely better. I still feel we could improve in the white areas of the face. It's just a little, there needs to be more shadow, because there's a shadow down here that is on the image. I mean, it's not bad. Again, we're trying to get closer to that. That's what I had when I lost my settings. So I think we're getting close. but we will see here. So we got this set up, and it didn't start. Now it should be ready. Make sure my shield's down. Put my glasses back on. So I feel like we're going in the right direction. We're just not quite there yet. So we'll see how this one turns out. And unfortunately, each image is going to be different. So it's not like, you know, I get this set up and poof, I can do every image under the sun. Because each image has a different amount of detail, different white and black, you know, levels and whatnot. So it's one of those things that I'm going to have to, unfortunately, repeat, you know, depending on what image I'm using. So it's frustrating, but it is what it is. It's kind of like 3D printing, you know, when you have bed adhesion issues or stringing or, you know, lots of other different things. Um, just to let Sean Hamilton know, his Slave 1 plaque will be complete in 23 minutes. And then I will move on to the other plaques that he wants. So that will be cool. And let's see, this image so far is looking okay. I still think the face may be too bright. I really just am not sure what settings I need to change to make that pop better. It's almost like there's too much power and it's taking away too much material, if that makes sense. But I lowered the power on this one to 5%. Bear with me for just a second here. you guys still hear me? Alright. There. Now you should be able to hear me. So, this one has finished. I think we're getting closer, but I don't feel like we're gaining where we should be gaining. So, just to show you, this was the last one that we did. This is the current one that we did. So if you look at them side by side, you can see there's a little bit more detail in the ears in this one. Just a tiny bit. But it's still blown out in the face. So you got a little bit more detail over here, where on this one you don't have it as bad. So we got, I think, one more slate piece that I can try before I have to go sand stuff. So this one is not coated, because normally I put a polyurethane coat on it before I laser. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. So bear with me for a second here, because I'm going to have to adjust this image to be smaller. So basically what I'm doing is I'm refocusing the laser on the new piece of slate. And there's a camera inside the laser that will help the autofocus. And it will also refresh. And then I can take this image and I can shrink it and put it right in between those dots. And then I'm going to go to framing, and I'm going to frame it. And you may or may not be able to see that laser going around there? That shows me where the object is going to laser. So, we will stop the framing. We will go to process. And we will hit start. And we will see what this version does. And while that's doing that, which it looks like it's going extremely fast, we will hop over here and see what the 3D printer is doing. 95%. There it's at. The Slave 1 plaque. So now we'll come back over here. That thing's going really fast. That is definitely not going to produce the results I'm looking for. I mean, that thing's, it's almost done. Ain't no way that's going to come out the way I want. I'm going to wipe it down here so we can get a good look at it. Now keep in mind I've sanded this slate several times, so there's some imperfections in it now. Yeah. Totally not very good. So, not happy with that. Well, I'm out of, I'm not out of slate. I have 50 more pieces of slate. But I'm out of slate that has a polyurethane layer on it, which is what I'm going to put on the actual memorial for this customer. So, until I get some more polyurethane sprayed on these, it's going to be hard to get the same type of results because you're not lasering on the same type of shiny surface, if that makes sense. You want to try to keep it as consistent as possible for your testing in order to get the results you're looking for. So, I guess that is about it for the laser. So let me bring you back over here. So again, that didn't didn't get us the results I wanted, which sucks. We're going to save that as another test. So we're just going to call this, I don't even know what to call it, live test, live test. Yeah, let's call it live test. Because once I get some more polyurethane coasters made, I'm going to reburn it on the polyurethane because I think that's going to make a difference. And then I'll just kind of go from there. I really wish I could get this dialed in. Like I said, this is going to be for a memorial of an animal that passed away for a customer. And so what I'm trying to do is get the image as good as I can. Now, the image is pretty decent. The results we got are pretty decent. So let me just lay them out here and show you. So, lay these out. And then I'll put the one that I lost the settings to that I really liked on there so you can kind of see the difference here. So there's the, get the shadow out of here. There's the one that I lost the settings to that I really liked. But I wanted just a little bit more detail in there. So we did this one, which wasn't bad. We did this one, which was the very first one. That one turned out terrible. Then we got a little bit better. And then we got just a tiny bit better, but we lost some detail, especially in there, right there in the hair and the ear. You see that hair in there compared to that hair and there. See how there's more hair in this ear than there is in that? And then with the one I really liked, there wasn't hardly any hair on that side. So what I was trying to do is get back to this type of image or result and then adjust it to where I can get this detail in there. But we're going to call that a learning curve tonight because I didn't get there. I got close, if close was, 4 football fields away, but not bad. It's a learning process. I went through probably 15, 20 coasters before I got this result. And then to get a reverse image of that, I went through another 5 coasters to get the reverse image. See if I can get it to pick up here. So probably 10, 15 coasters to get those 2 out of it, but I have those settings saved. The problem is those settings will not work for this image. I've already tried it. So my hunt continues to get closer to that, but with the detail of that. So that's where we're at. Now what's interesting is the round coasters do seem to have a little bit more detail. Why did my screen just turn? There we go. So there's some more round ones that I did earlier. I'm not sure why that's not focusing. So there's the one that I really like. That one was decent. Not bad, but I wanted it a little bit brighter, like this one. And that one was okay, but not as much detail. So these are getting sand down, and we will continue the fight. So the laser is off. We're going to clean up my little space here. It looks like the 3D print is almost done. Getting closer. Now see, sometimes in this heat, because it is hot in North Carolina right now, you see that string right there? So what I do is I have this little brush, and I just brush it, and it either comes off or it doesn't. If it doesn't come off, then I get a pair of tweezers and I pull it. If it still doesn't come off, then I wait till the print's done so I don't smash my hand. And then I will snip it that way. So this has literally 4 minutes left. And then I can move on to the next one. So here is my AMS units. So you can see I can print 8 colors at a time. Currently it's pulling from this spool here, which is a gray. and then it will probably, actually, since it's pulling from gray, it'll probably stay with gray, because this should be the last layer, or the last color change. There are 71 color changes in these plaques, so it changes colors 71 times, and it takes approximately 5 hours and 30 minutes for one plaque to print. So it does take some time. As you can see, I got the glass off the top of the printer because of the fact that it is warm again in North Carolina. And even though I have my AC running in this room, I have a dedicated AC unit for this room, it's still 74 degrees in here. So it's still pretty warm. Don't mind all my mess. I do clean it up. It's just, I've been busy all day and printing and lasering and haven't had a chance. So if you want to see some cool customer prints, these are almost ready to ship out. So we got some Halloween knives. These are just plastic ornamental knives. We got the Atlanta Braves light box there. We got a Scream knife Halloween ornament there. Let's see, U.S. Army display here. Let me grab it. So we got a U.S. Army display. I believe this, found that on Maker World. But it's pretty cool. That took 13 hours to print, I think. So, and then you have these little flexi guys. Ooh, hello, Utinni Land. So they have a little tail and everything. So yeah, it's a process for sure between the laser and the 3D printer, and then of course my messy desk with my big computer. What's up, Sergio? How's it going? And then there's my other computer. There's some 3D prints. Now it's 73 degrees here in the office, thanks to my AC, my portable AC unit right here. And then continuing, we got one 36-inch screen, and another 36-inch screen, and another 27-inch screen with an Xbox, and then the printers. So yes, my desk is a mess. I usually clean it when I get a chance, and I just haven't had a chance today. So, and it looks like the print for one of Sean Hamilton print Star Geeks is finishing up here. So we will wait for it to lower, and here it comes. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's pull this off live. Look at all that filling under there. Whew, that's a lot of filament. All right, we're going to pull this off live here. First, I'm going to get rid of my little flow lines. This is the cool plate. And the reason I use the cool plate for these is because there are 71 color swaps to make one of these plates, 5.5 hours worth of printing for one plate. And I have not had any print failures yet out of close to, let's see, 15 prints of them. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to flex it a little bit. Flexy, flexy. Hear that popping? That's a good popping sound. There we go. Still a little warm. See if I can get my camera to focus on it. So there it is. It has a red inlay to match the Slave 1 text. And see, there's that little string I was talking about. So we're just going to grab that, see if we can't remove that. There we go. All gone. Sometimes you get that when your filament's, wet, when it has too much humidity. Sometimes you get it when you're running, the nozzle too hot. For me, it's a matter of both because I have humidity and I have heat in the room. So it's a double whammy. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking this little brush, and I forget where I got this brush at, but I'm just taking the brush and I'm just running it through where there could be any of those little stringies, just to make them pop up so I can snip them. And it looks like there might be, nope, I think I got it. Let's see. On closer inspection, there is a tiny one on the A. You see it right there? So we're going to take these snips and we're going to carefully snip it. See if I can grab it here. It's kind of hard to do this while you're doing it on camera. There we go. All gone. So now that is finished. So with these, I also have printed a little stand. So because these will not stand by themselves, so you snap that right in there. It fits right perfect. And then there you go. And then the ship, you simply take the stand off, like so. Put it in a foam envelope and ship it. So there's one down. Now we're going to put the plate back in. Make sure it's even. Looks like I have a little bit of leftover stringing on the nozzle here. See that back there? I don't know if you can see it. But I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm just going to grab that and drop it in there. Now it should be all nice and clean. We are going to close this halfway. We're going to check our colors. Got plenty of red, got plenty of orange, yellow, gray. There's a dark gray, there's a silver, there's a white and a black. So our colors are good. So we're going to come back over here to the main computers. We're going to go to Bamboo Studio. And we are going to double check as to which one he wanted next. I believe it was the ATST. It was. So there is the ATST right here. We're going to make sure that our settings are correct, which they are not. So we don't want any cooling for the first two layers. We're turning off the auxiliary fan. We are Z-hopping on retraction by 0.5. And we are disabling the long retraction cut feature because I have found that when it's warm, like it is in my office, that that does more harm than it does good. So we're going to modify all the other filaments that we're going to use and make sure they all have the same settings, which they do. Sorry about that, I'm holding it down a little bit. And we'll check this one here. And then we'll slice it. 5 hours and 53 minutes. Print, send, and it will go. So this one's going to be almost 6 hours to print this plate or plaque, however you want to think about it. So yeah, there's all my filament. Look at all that filament. And then I got filament here too. And both of those with dry packs, which helps keep the humidity down in those containers because they are airtight. So that hopefully keeps my humidity out of there. I'm going to shut off my air purifier for my laser. And there's my AC unit. Look at all these things I got from my laser here. These are all blanks. I've just been picking up blanks. I got cork blanks. I got little bamboo serving boards. This whole box is full of those Slate coasters that we've been playing with. I got wood coasters. Let's see, I got cutting boards. I picked up 2 big cutting boards today. Look at them babies. Now obviously, my machine is not that big, but I have the conveyor attachment, which is this big box right here. And that attaches to that. So then I can do longer and bigger pieces. I can't do any taller. It's still 8 inches restricted, 8 inches tall, 220 millimeters. But I can do up to 500 millimeters long. So I'll have to move all this stuff here when I connect the conveyor, and then I'm able to do that. That is the rotary attachment, and then my dog's pig ear. The rotary attachment for the laser to allow me to do tumblers, cylindrical objects like baseballs, softballs, rings, whatever else you could think of to laser that is a cylinder. So, what other little toys do we got in here? There's some more. Here is some designs I was coming up with, if I can grab it, to put on cutting boards and different monograms and stuff for realtors. So any of that can be put on Slate coasters, can be put on your cutting boards or anything else that you can laser on. So, but that's pretty much my impromptu little laser demonstration. So hopefully you enjoyed it. We got another print coming up. So let me flip this back around and I will say goodbye. There we go. So thank you all very much for watching. Oh, there's some of my stuff that's not in my Star Wars room. Some helmets and stuff like that. So But thank you all very much for watching, and hopefully you got something out of that, even though we basically messed up 4 coasters that I have to sand down and retry. But I'll go back at it again tomorrow and see what happens. So thank you all very, very much for watching, and as always, may the force be with you.
Utinni